and that's the history of the poor. Poor and class and race are reasonably correlated in the United States, so it's critically the history of the black and now Hispanic poor. David gave you some of the statistics, and that's showing it. The one last comment on this stuff. David mentioned that in the Mexican economy, after it's been essentially destroyed, really on purpose, under the trade agreements, there's, what was the figure for remittances?
26 billion.
26 billion, yeah. 26 billion was a year on... year before last on remittances. Well, that's approximately a quarter of the Mexican economy. Another roughly a quarter is coming from profits from oil. Another quarter is coming from narco-trafficking. Mexico's probably the narco-trafficking center of the world. There are huge areas right on the U.S. border, so everybody in this government knows about them, which have been taken over by narco-traffickers. A lot of them are places where people were forced off the land because, for the reasons David mentioned, they can't compete with U.S. subsidized agribusiness. So they're empty, or they're driven off. They're taken over by narco-traffickers. They're protected by the military who participate in this. Put all this together, it's adding roughly the same part of the economy as oil and remittances. That's the Mexican economy. Well, you can't study it in Mexico. Any editor or journalist will tell you, we can't write about it, or it's a death warrant. If we try to write about it, we're going to be killed. It's worse than Colombia in this respect. But a lot of people know about it. I mentioned David. I happened to be there about 10 days ago, and I was reading the press, and there was a study that came out by two well-known and respected economists condemning the drug war in Mexico's Calderon's drug war, which we're supposed to think is great. They said it's a total farce because it's avoiding the main participants in the drug war, the government and the corporations. They said that corporations, which are big ones, involved in 80% of the economy, they're running the narco-trafficking and making a lot of profit out of it. Mexico doesn't get decertified. Decertification is a blow to countries in Latin America. They suffer from it. Obama just announced decertification for last year. And guess who was decertified? Bolivia and Venezuela. And there's no evidence that they're participating in maybe there's something going on, but minor. Nothing like Colombia, nothing like Mexico, but they're not decertified because that's a farce like everything else. Just as the criminalization of the population here under the drug war is just old history. That's the way you deal with superfluous populations that you either want to turn into a labor force, and the criminalized population today is a labor force, forced labor, or you just don't have anything to do with it. Well, those are things we got to face.
Well, I'm afraid that Professor Chomsky has to catch an airplane. We were told to make sure that he is able to leave in time to get to the airport. So we don't have time for more than this. I know that we would all like to go on for another hour or two, both listening to Professor Chomsky and hearing what you all have to say, and I'm sorry we can't do that today. But I would like to give him one last San Francisco welcome and one last expression of our gratitude.
You've been listening to a special program featuring renowned linguist, social justice activist, author, and lecturer Noam Chomsky, speaking at the First Unitarian Universalist Society in San Francisco, California on October 4th, 2009. The title of the program is Crisis and Hope in the Age of Obama. Also speaking were the policy analyst and author Antonia Juhas, community organizer and author Steve Williams, and labor journalist David Bacon. Introducing the program were Greg Stewart, Senior Minister at the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco, and Dolores Perez Priam, event organizer and activist, also of the First Unitarian Universalist Society. To find out more about the speakers and the topics discussed during this program, please visit the following websites: the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco at uusf.org. People Organized to Win Employment Rights at peopleorganized.org. Antonia Uhas's website at tyranny-of-oil.org. David Bacon's website at dbacon.igc.org. And the Noam Chomsky website at chomsky.info. PDX Media Productions would like to thank Dolores Perez Priam and Jonathan Silk for their invaluable assistance in producing this program. This program was produced by PDX Justice Media Productions of Portland, Oregon. To find out more about our work and to access our growing library of free on-demand streaming video and audio programs, please visit our website at www.pdxjustice.org. You'll find programs featuring speakers such as Barbara Ehrenreich, Amira Haas, Paul Krugman, Jeremy Scahill, and many, many others. And write to us with your comments and questions at pdxjustice@riseup.net. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for supporting listener-sponsored radio, public access cable television, net neutrality, independent bookstores, and all forms of grassroots, democratic, community media.